Welcome to Headline Hub Updates. Subscribe and press the bell icon for more updates. The Philippines is a nation defined by water. It's more than 7,000 islands surrounded by the vast South China Sea. This sea is not just a boundary, it's a lifeline, providing food, energy, and a gateway for global trade. Filipino fishermen have relied on these waters for generations, their lives intertwined with the tides. The Philippines sits astride some of the world's busiest shipping lanes, making it both a gatekeeper and a target for powerful nations. This strategic location brings opportunity and risk. The South China Sea is a stage for geopolitical drama with the Philippines at its center. The choices made here will shape not just the nation's future, but the balance of power in the Indo-Pacific. The West Philippine Sea's greatest wealth is its marine life. Millions depend on its fisheries for food and livelihood. These waters are a pillar of the rural economy and a vital source of protein for the nation. Beneath the waves lies another treasure: energy. The seabed may hold enough oil and gas to power the country for decades. For a nation reliant on imports, this could mean true energy independence. The seabed is also rich in minerals essential for modern technology, offering a path to a more advanced economy. Yet this potential remains locked away. Overlapping claims, especially from China, create instability and deter investment. Chinese vessels harass Filipino fishermen and block resource development. The economic cost is immense. Each day of stalemate is a day of lost opportunity. The Philippines is denied the chance to harness its own natural wealth. The promise of prosperity remains just out of reach. The heart of the conflict is China's sweeping nine-dash line, claiming nearly the entire South China Sea. This claim cuts deep into the Philippines' exclusive economic zone, directly challenging its sovereignty. Chinese Coast Guard and militia vessels now patrol these waters, blocking supply missions and harassing Filipino fishermen. China's strategy is incremental, building artificial islands, militarizing reefs, and slowly changing the facts on the water. These bases project power and intimidate smaller neighbors, making it harder for the Philippines to assert its rights. The constant threat deters investment and blocks resource development. International companies avoid the area, fearing confrontation. Effectively, China imposes a veto on Philippine economic progress. The nine-dash line is not just a claim, it's an economic blockade. The Philippines faces a daily struggle to maintain its rights in its own waters. The stakes are not just territorial, they are economic and existential. The world is watching how Manila responds. In 2013, the Philippines made a bold move by taking China to court, seeking clarity and justice under international law regarding the South China Sea. This was a significant step, as it challenged one of the world's most powerful nations on a global stage. The 2016 Arbitral Tribunal ruling became a landmark victory for the Philippines and for international law. The tribunal declared that China's sweeping nine-dash line claim had no legal basis, setting a precedent for maritime disputes worldwide. The tribunal not only affirmed the Philippines' rights to its exclusive economic zone, but also condemned China's interference with Filipino fishermen, who had long struggled to access their traditional fishing grounds. China, however, rejected the ruling outright, dismissing the tribunal's authority and accelerating its activities in the disputed waters, including building artificial islands and increasing its Coast Guard presence. Despite China's defiance, the award remains a powerful diplomatic tool for the Philippines. It has strengthened Manila's position in international forums and negotiations. The ruling provides Manila with a solid legal foundation and has garnered international support from countries that value the rule of law and freedom of navigation. By reframing the dispute as a defense of international law, rather than just a territorial squabble, the ruling has shifted global perceptions and highlighted the importance of upholding legal norms. While the award lacks direct enforcement mechanisms, it has galvanized global opinion, delegitimized China's actions, and increased diplomatic pressure on Beijing to respect international law. The Philippines must now leverage this legal victory to rally regional and global allies, strengthen partnerships, and assert its rights in the face of ongoing challenges. The arbitral award stands as the strongest weapon in Manila's diplomatic arsenal, a symbol of its commitment to justice and the international order. Yet the real challenge lies in turning this legal triumph into tangible, real-world results for the people most affected by the dispute. Ultimately, the world's rules are only as strong as those willing to defend them. The Philippines' fight is not just for itself, but for the integrity of international law everywhere. Some argue the Philippines should cooperate with China, jointly developing resources for mutual gain. Proponents of this approach believe that working together could unlock vast economic potential, especially in the resource-rich South China Sea. They see cooperation as a pragmatic solution to a complex problem, one that could benefit both nations. China has the capital and technology. The Philippines needs both to unlock offshore oil and gas. The expertise and financial muscle that China brings to the table could help the Philippines tap into energy reserves that have long remained out of reach, potentially transforming the country's energy landscape. A joint venture could bring much-needed revenue, funding infrastructure and social programs. New roads, bridges, and schools could be built, and social services expanded, improving the lives of millions of Filipinos. The promise of economic growth is hard to ignore. Economic interdependence might even ease tensions. By tying their futures together, both countries could find incentives to resolve disputes peacefully and foster a more stable regional environment. But critics warn this path risks legitimizing China's illegal claims. Many Filipinos fear that cooperation could be seen as an acceptance of China's expansive territorial ambitions, undermining the country's own rights in the region. Any deal could undermine the 2016 arbitral award and set a dangerous precedent for other nations. The hard-won legal victory at The Hague could be rendered meaningless, weakening international law and emboldening other powerful countries to ignore similar rulings. There's also the issue of trust. China's track record in the South China Sea is far from reassuring. Incidents of harassment, aggressive patrols, and the construction of artificial islands have left many Filipinos wary of Beijing's intentions. The Philippines could end up as a junior partner with little real control. Negotiations may be lopsided, with China dictating terms, and the Philippines forced to accept less favorable conditions. Short-term gains might mask a long-term strategic loss. While immediate benefits may be tempting, the true cost could be paid in diminished sovereignty and weakened bargaining power for generations to come. Cooperation could become a tool for China to entrench its presence. Infrastructure and joint projects might serve as a cover for expanding military and political influence in the region. The choice is between economic opportunity and the risk of surrendering sovereignty. It's a delicate balance, one that will shape the nation's future and its standing in the world. The stakes are high and the margin for error is slim. Every decision carries weight and the consequences will be felt for decades. Manila must weigh every step carefully. The path forward is uncertain and the choices made today will echo through history, defining the Philippines' sovereignty, prosperity, and place in the region. The alternative is to stand firm, defending Philippine rights without compromise. In the face of mounting challenges, the nation must show unwavering resolve, making it clear that our sovereignty is not up for negotiation. Sovereignty is non-negotiable. The West Philippine Sea belongs to the Philippines under international law. The 2016 arbitral ruling affirmed our rights, and it is our duty to uphold them for future generations. This path demands a credible defense posture, even if it can't match China's might. It's about showing determination, readiness, and the willingness to protect what is rightfully ours no matter the odds. Modernizing the Navy and Coast Guard, increasing patrols, and investing in new technology are essential steps. These efforts send a clear message that the Philippines is prepared to defend its waters. Asserting presence is vital. Every patrol, every mission, and every flag raised at sea reinforces our claim and our commitment to national security. Every mission is an act of defiance and a statement of national will. It is a daily reminder to the world that the Philippines will not be intimidated or silenced. Diplomacy is equally crucial, championing the arbitral award and building coalitions with like-minded nations. Engaging with ASEAN and the international community strengthens our position and amplifies our voice. International support can constrain China's actions and raise the cost of aggression. Global attention and solidarity make it harder for any nation to act with impunity. Economically, the Philippines can seek partners from other countries, inviting investment and cooperation that bolster our resilience and independence. Forming consortia that are harder for China to intimidate ensures that our resources are developed safely and responsibly with the backing of the international community. Diversifying partnerships brings more stakeholders into the equation, making the West Philippine Sea a shared interest and not just a local dispute. The message is clear: the Philippines is open for business, but only on its own terms. We welcome the world, but we set the rules in our own backyard. Defending sovereignty may be costly, but surrendering it would cost far more. The price of inaction is the loss of our rights, our resources, and our dignity as a nation. The fight is for dignity, rights, and the future. It is a struggle not just for territory, but for the soul of the nation and the promise we make to the next generation. The Philippines is not alone, it has a long-standing ally in the United States. The Mutual Defense Treaty offers a security guarantee, with Washington pledging to defend Philippine forces in the South China Sea. U.S. naval patrols and joint exercises send a strong signal to Beijing: the region will not be dominated by force. This American presence gives the Philippines leverage and confidence to assert its rights. But reliance on the U.S. is complex. Some Filipinos fear entanglement in great power rivalry or loss of autonomy. The alliance must be managed carefully, balancing security with independence. Ultimately, the U.S. will act in its own interests. The Philippines must not outsource its defense. A strong Philippine military makes the alliance more credible. The American factor is a tool, not the whole strategy. The Philippines must lead in defending its own interests. Allies can help, but the nation's resolve is the foundation. The West Philippine Sea dispute is about more than territory. It's about the soul of the nation. For a country shaped by colonial history, sovereignty is deeply personal. Defending maritime rights is a modern test of independence and national dignity. Compromising sovereignty for economic gain risks eroding the nation's spirit and teaching future generations that rights can be traded away. Standing firm unites the people and reinforces the rule of law. For Filipino fishermen, sovereignty means the right to work and feed their families without fear. Protecting the sea is about social justice and the government's duty to its citizens. The price of sovereignty is vigilance, courage, and sacrifice. It may mean foregoing easy gains, but the alternative is a slow loss of national identity. The wealth of the sea is immense, but the value of sovereignty is beyond measure. This is the inheritance this generation must defend. The choices the Philippines makes now will define its future for generations. Joint development with China may bring quick gains, but risks long-term autonomy. Defending sovereign rights is harder, but secures a future of independence and respect. The outcome will shape regional stability. If the Philippines stands firm, it sets an example for others. If it yields, the region could fall under the shadow of force, not law. The true wealth of the West Philippine Sea is the promise of a secure, independent future. Defending that promise is the only way to ensure prosperity for all Filipinos. The time to choose is now. Courage and foresight will shape the nation's legacy.